Joining us now in Studio B is the older brother of one of those 25 seniors and former BYU football standout. Had a stint in the NFL as well. Linebacker Spencer Hadley is back on the show. Spence, welcome back, man.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Good to see you.
It's good to be back. It's been a while.
Surrounded by Spencers. What a blessing.
The snark is thick in that statement. Your senior day happened eons ago.
Yeah, long time ago.
5 years to be specific. What do you remember about that senior day game? I think it was against Idaho State.
It was against Idaho State. It featured an immobilizer on my leg.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't play in the game, right?
No, because I'd torn my MCL against Wisconsin, and I was out the remainder of the year. So missed. I hobbled out on my senior day, much like Matt did last year for his first one of the two.
So was that weird emotionally? You're like, I can't even play in this?
Yeah, it was. It was hard. I think it made it, well, for me especially, harder. And you probably know this now. You've been around me for 4 years, and then Matt for a couple years, and we're pretty emotional people. So emotionally, that was a tough hurdle that you don't plan on at the beginning of your senior year. You try to picture and you try to envision what senior day is going to be like when you get there. Last time we're on this field, how much that field means to you, the guys that you're playing with, the guys that you're playing for, the university. I mean, taking it all in, what's that going to be like when you take your last step onto and then your last step off of that field that's been your home. And then when you get there and you're not playing, it's a whole nother element of, this is hard.
Did the emotions and the understandable disappointment of that senior game in some way help push you forward to get you to the NFL?
I think so. I mean, I don't know, did I look back at because there were tough times. In fact, I was with Jordan Pendleton last night. He's coaching the Skyridge, high school. They're playing in the state championship today. So it was cool. They asked me to come and talk to the teams. We did a little thing last night. But he and I were talking, and because I trained with him, after I'd been with the Saints for a little bit before I got on with the Raiders. And we just were talking about what that was like going through there. There were ups and downs, and I don't know if during that time I was thinking back, man, I missed my senior game. I got to make this work, But it I think it definitely played a factor. How big of a factor, I'm not sure. But it definitely made you want to play more football.
Sure, yeah.
So, yes.
Your brother Matt has been at BYU since 1972.
Right. Since before me. Yeah,
Crazy. It's your younger brother.
I caught up with him. Yeah, it was great.
It's crazy. He's become the #1 running back. He's getting the most carries. He was a tremendous running back in high school. Mm-hmm. Were you hoping that at some point he'd get a shot at running back?
Yeah, we talked about it all the time. I think from the moment he stepped foot on campus, it was like we talked about him maybe, getting the shot to play, or that he should be playing running back. And he, he's not the fastest kid on the team. He's not the strongest kid on the team. Probably not even the smartest kid on the team, but he does everything well. And one of the things that I think he does extremely well at running back is he sees the field unfold in front of him in a way that you can't teach,
And on the 59-yard reception on the screenplay against Boise State, that was manifest strongly.
Yeah.
His vision was incredible.
Well, and I'm obviously biased, but that doesn't mean my bias is wrong, right? You see him in different points in that run and in other runs, not just seeing where he needs to go, but seeing a little shift of movement or a step here, a step there to set up a defender to then open up a hole that wouldn't be there, if you know what I mean. The way he moves, it's so instinctive, you can't teach it. It's just guys either have it and it manifests on the field, or they don't, and they're kind of a downhill, one cut back, and they hit, which is, a great thing too.
Well, we've seen the cutback effect multiple times this season, where he goes entirely away from where the run is designed, and it turns into a huge play or a touchdown. Most recently against UMass.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is you can't teach that reaction. That's a feeling. You know what I mean? When you're running, because that happens so fast. For us sitting on the sofa and watching, it's so easy to be, come on, what are you doing? Why are you going that way? Go the other way. The hole's there. It happens so stinking fast. And you can't really think about it. You just have to feel the pressure and then know where to go accordingly. And he does that very well.
He'll be one of those 25 seniors that get honored before the game. You can see every one of those on Countdown to Kickoff tomorrow night, by the way. Let's talk about this BYU defense. Quietly, top 35 in every major category.
Surprising.
You played on a top 5 defense there in 2012 and 2013. You guys were really good as well. That side of the ball has carried this team.
Yeah. Yeah, they've played very well. And I would even say this is maybe controversial because they're loaded with talent. There's a bunch of great players on the defense, but I think due to injuries and then due to, and probably partly because of injuries, a lack of consistency, it surprises me that they're ranked and they're doing as well as they are. You know, when you lose, especially in the linebacking core where we've lost, you know, due to injury, guys have gone and come back, and then, you know, we lost, you know, Zane Anderson for the year.
Huge blow to the team.
Exactly. And that's tough, especially at that position. You know, it's not all positions are important on both sides of the ball, but your linebacking core, it's almost like a dance, the way you play together, you know, the 3 or the 4 of you or how many you got in, you know, depending on the formation or the personnel. But you almost have to understand who you're in the game with and how they play the play, and you move together as a unit, because as much as you are a bunch of individuals, you're not a bunch of individuals when you're playing linebacker. You have to move together, much like an offensive line moves together, you know. So it's difficult to do when you've got guys coming in and out of the rotation to be on the same page and to be effective, and they've done a good job. I expected, I guess, more like frustration watching the defense than I've seen this year. I think they've overachieved based on the adversity that they've faced. And yeah.
We know all about the safety dance, but now we know about the linebacker dance.
Yeah.
Yes, courtesy of Spencer Hadley, who joins us now on BYU Sports Nation. Good grief. The injuries at one point required your brother, who is now starting at running back, to play linebacker. Let's not forget that he was playing linebacker at one point this season.
Yeah, not many guys can do that. And again, I'm biased, but he's a very intelligent individual. Matt is. He plays really. He's smart, you know, and I think that's what puts him in a lot of, you know, positions to make plays. But not many guys can play offense for a few games, switch over to defense for a few games, switch back to offense for a few games, and be effective, you know, and be relatively mistake-free. I mean, no one plays a perfect game, and he certainly hasn't in the games that he's played in, but he's been consistent, reliable, effective, and that's tough to do when you're switching positions, much less switching sides of the ball, you know. So anyway, high praise from an older brother to what he's accomplished.
Yeah, he's done well and been a crucial piece, right? Like, if there's no Matt Hadley, kind of who is running the ball, it'd be a little crazy.
At 6 yards a pop.
At 6 yards a pop, which leads the team minimum 10 carries, okay? No disrespect to Dylan Colley's 9 carries, where he averages 6.4. But anyway, Utah is next week.
Get 10 and then come talk
to
us.
Yeah, then
get out of here. I'm just kidding.
Next week's Utah, okay? This week's New Mexico State, a team that BYU should beat at home, 24-point favorite, senior night. But the bowl game's on the line, so certainly motivation's there. But Utah's next week. How can BYU make sure they're ready for Utah next week? Because that's a Utah team that's ranked 19th.
By taking care of business this week. And, you know, we as fans, we love to speculate, you know, 2 and 3 games ahead. And no player is like such a lockbox that I'm only thinking about this week, you know, especially when I mean, gosh, it's Utah, right? And we're playing them.
We don't believe any of them.
Yeah.
They say, well, we're focused on this. It's like,
right.
Yes,
no,
but come on.
It's there for sure. I mean, they're human, right? But I think the best thing to prepare them to go in and win at Rice Eccles is to win this week. And I think they know that. I think they know, based on the adversity they've had this year, based on the kind of inconsistency that we've seen from the team. I mean, one week you got a team that you think beat anybody in the country, and then the next week you got a team that you're like, gosh dang, it's kind of tough to be a BYU fan right now. That's just kind of been the way the season's gone. You know, you get one team and you get the other, and you're like, hey, I don't know what team's showing up this week, but I guess that's the nature of sports in general. But I think they understand that they can't afford to look ahead. You know, they've got to come into this game ready to go against this opponent And a 24-point favorite, like none of that means anything to us when you're playing. You know, when you're out there and the guy across from you is, you know, 6'3" and 225 or 240 pounds, and you're like, okay, that's a dude. Like, I gotta beat this guy. You know, like
24-point favorite. We're gonna be fine.
Yeah, but he's a beast, so I gotta get my job done. You know, so I think they know that, and I think they'll come in prepared to beat New Mexico State. So
Spencer Hadley with us on BYU Sports Nation, former BYU and NFL linebacker. What's the biggest storyline tomorrow? And I'll give you a few options here. The fact that it's senior day and 25 seniors are going to be honored. How much will a guy like Tanner Mangum play? That has become a discussion point.
Your brother's best friend.
Yeah.
Bowl eligibility, of course, is on the line. You get 6 wins. BYU gets back into the bowl conversation, and you already addressed Utah 1 week away. Then there's New Mexico State. But I personally don't think that it is about New Mexico State tomorrow. I think it's about one of the previous 4. What do you think?
Sure. I think more than any of them, I'll throw out a new one.
Ooh.
It's win at home. It's let's finish the season at home in the right way, on the right note. Definitely bowl eligibility is right up there. Senior night it's a big thing for the seniors, and for everybody else, because you want to send your buddies off right, you know. But once the whistle blows and the game starts, you know, and you get the first pop in the shoulder pads, and it's kind of like everything just kind of, and it's gone, and it's the game. Senior night's like, who cares? It's right in front of us. It's the game, you know. So I think winning the game, even the bowl, is like, you're not thinking about it when you're trying to focus on your assignment and, you know, getting your job done and
thinking about the bowl swag though.
Yeah. Like, oh man, where are we gonna go for our bowl game? You know, take it. Yeah.
Am I gonna get that Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not really. So I think the biggest, you know, the main focus for the players, right? If that's what we're talking about, you know, to guess it's different maybe.
For the fans, it's like
the fans or for the
chocolate.
Right. Give me that cougar tail. But for the players, it's gonna be let's win at home. And let's send our seniors off right. I think those 2 things will probably be what's on their mind the most.
And BYU would finish at 500 with a win at home. It'd be nice to avoid a crazy loss at home that would ruin everything.
Oh, and it would.
That would be the worst.
Ruin things on multiple levels.
Yes.
Let's not even think about that. BYU 24-point favorite. They gonna win.
Yeah. Don't bring that bad juju in here.
They should win. Spencer, we'd love for you to sign our new Sailor Coug flag if you wouldn't mind.